Okay, this lesson is number 1 in my journal, and it comes from I'm going to call it, this is on faith, and it comes from a situation where I realized some things that I want to put into a word of encouragement, which actually is to myself and to whoever, and it has to do with faith. So I gave this card here. Say, it starts with Job, and well, I look backwards on here, but I don't know, Job, and anyway, and then in the end, 1 Corinthians 13:13, I put it in a book, Jacob the Baker, except that's a hard copy, because that's the one I read a long time ago. Anyway, I put this in that book, and I gave it to the people that I don't know if they get paid or they volunteer or what, but it's a ministry, and it's faith-based, and they serve food and to help people in need. And I became acquainted with it from the previous one. There was a time when I didn't have any electricity, I didn't have any money, and so I was utilizing that through some other people I met, and continued on. And it's easier for me, and I don't cook really too much except for beans and peppers, and I put bouillon in it, and there's a lot of different kind of beans, and it's easy. Sometimes I cook something else, but I go there and I get good rounded meals like I would really make for myself, and wanted to express my gratitude, so I gave them each a book with this card that I made in it. And in the card I made reference to the time where I pushed a knife into my neck because I felt that I had no way to transcend the situation, and it would be easier for me to die than to go on living because of the threat lingering over me. I didn't have any way out. I felt no way for me to escape, and the pressure was coming on. And so there come a time when I put my finger on the pulse right there, I tied something around my neck that I had, and I get the vein to pop out. Let's see, it's been so long I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I pushed it on this side. Okay, I feel the vein now. Yeah, so I pushed the knife like right there where I knew it was, and I turned it like that. I pushed it in, and then I turned it sideways and I ripped it out, and blood wasn't flowing. I mean, it was flowing, it wasn't pulsating. So I did it again because I wanted it to be over like quick, and it wouldn't be any fuss, it'd be over. Anyway, that was felt that was the best thing for me to do, and I thank the Lord that I was given the knife, and I happened to have the drawstring, and everything was right there for me, and it was like a godsend. I mean, I felt that, well, this is truly my end, and I was okay with that, because it wasn't going to go down the other way. Anyway, so I'm going to have to make this one the intro to the intro, because this is not really the lesson. Well, maybe I can just do it. So anyway, in the card it says, I tell them a story, and then I as an object lesson for the context of something meaningful to me, and give it thought and everything. And I wanted to give them this book because I felt that it was the right thing for me to do. It was the best thing I could find, and I thought it was the right thing for me to do. And I put this card in with it, and the point is, at the bottom it says, it's a statement I read, more than 45 years ago, probably. I was still in school, and high school, and it says, when all goes wrong and you despair, stand in faith and hang in there. And so this one is about faith. Now, and this is a lesson. I was at the gas station, and I drove up, and a truck was parked there, in a lane, which would have been convenient for me to just go get gas in. But he was parked there, and I pulled up, and he was parked right in the middle, so I couldn't get the hose of my gas tank. So I went around the other way, and then as I was getting gas, he came out, and then he moved his truck into position, and quit taking up, 2 spots, and probably so he could even reach the hose to his, his gas tank. So I was thinking to myself, about saying something to him about his rudeness that I didn't appreciate, and I have done that in the past, because when you start down the road of having to stand your ground and protect your your rights, and not be a silent, say nothing, or whatever the heck. Well, I've been all that. In fact, I got a sign in my front yard hanging. It's on a 20-foot long 6x6 and 8-foot wide for the arms 6x6, and there's a cross, and it says in the body of the cross that if you come onto my property with a malicious or pernicious or untoward attitude, I will put my scope on you and blow your mother humping brains out. Now, it's not that I don't know how to fight or anything, but I thought to myself, I'm not going to say anything, because faith, what I've been understanding, is, and I've known this, I got a Master of Divinity. I've been in church all my life. But until the recent past, and I still got it. And anyway, faith is like this. Okay, I don't want there to be this kind of situation. People do stuff like this. I don't want that. So, if I just say, well, I ain't going to believe it's true. Oh, okay, that's what you call a hyperbole, not a metaphor. But say, for example, that's not the reality I want. Okay, well, so they say today, and everybody is believing this now, and well, not everybody, but I don't know. But I've studied all my life, and it's true. All right, we really do create our own realities, and I didn't know to the extent of it, but now I'm going back to my roots, and I understand faith. And in the letter of Hebrews, the Apostle Paul told the followers of Christ, after, of course he was dead and everything. But anyways, that faith is evidence of things not seen in the book of Hebrews. The evidence of things not seen. Faith is evidence of things not seen, and can't remember exactly how it goes. It's anyway. It's the assurance of it's everything not seen. Yeah, can't remember how the whole thing goes right now, but what it says is that even though you don't see it, you pray for it, and you want it to be. So what you do is you transcend the moment that's trying to cast doubt on you, because that's not the way you want life to be. Okay, so you don't. In my case, I decided not to say anything, and so when I went home, I felt a lot more peace, and I felt better. And I know what I would have felt like if I would have said something. I would have come home. I would have still been tense. I would have been, my chest up in the air or whatever. Like there's a state of being that they say, in psychology and everything, when you learn the emotions of humankind, one of them is a fight or flight. You have to fight or you got to run. That's a primary emotion, and it causes stress. Well, faith suggests that you transcend that, and in the Christian world, it's like God will send a test your way, and depending on how you respond to that test is when you're going to learn your lesson, and then until you learn your lesson, you're going to keep going through the same thing. So you see life as a test, and now so the situation is this: the challenge, if I refocus on the basis of faith, okay, the faith being that I want a better life. I don't want to have this kind of stuff in my world where people do this. Well, the best thing for me to do is to transcend it, not to engage in a fight, or not to say something that's going to be tough. The best way, and faith tells me this, my faith of what I want to be, and it's what they call the best practice. People talk about best practices. This is the best practice, and so I didn't say anything, and when I got home, I felt great. All right, now I wouldn't have felt that way if I didn't. Now, then I go to Niecy's Hope. Like what back in the day would have been called a soup kitchen or something. They serve food, and it's a Christian environment. People that work there, you always have somebody to pray with you if you want to pray, and stuff like that. And then everybody, it's from a church, and it's from Lady's Vision. His name is Niecy. All right. So that being said, I came in and I sat down, and I was there with 3 people at the table, including me. And one guy starts talking on his phone. It rings. He's got it on loud. It comes on speaker, and so he starts carrying on his whole conversation on speakerphone. And he's talking relatively loud. And the guy next to me kind of got offended at that, and he started saying stuff out loud. The guy didn't pay attention to him, and and then when the guy got off the phone, he continued, to talk about the guy as if the guy wasn't there. So he's pretty upset, and I just let it roll off like the water off a duck's back, as they say. But I thought later that if I could have done better, I could have said to the fella, "Hey, follow me. Let's go over here." And then we got over there, excuse me. Told him, don't fight it, rise above it. And that's the key right there. Don't fight it, rise above it. Transcend it, transcend the challenge. Don't let the challenge draw you into something that you can't transcend. Don't let the challenge bring you down. Use the challenge. The goal is not to win a fight. The goal is to transcend a fight. See, that's the best practice. And I would have been empowered. I would have felt empowered if I would have did that. But I didn't do that because, I wasn't really prepared in my mind to react because things hit you blind. I mean, you do what's, what you're most prepared to do. And so anyway, since I didn't do that, I wanted to tell them because, by saying it, I can not only strengthen myself, but I can encourage somebody else. So that's my lesson, and has to do with faith, and that's it.